I would like to share my thoughts about the IBJJF World Championship. Right now, there's some controversy in terms of IBJJF rule set because some very prominent coaches and commentators there saying that the rule set is very complex. And I myself, I was watching some of the finals and also other fights as well. And to be quite honest, I got lost. And it coming from someone that has an understanding about the rule set. If you really want to understand it, it takes some time for you to familiarize yourself with the rule set. And what I saw is that sometimes it leads to confusion in terms of why some points are being awarded or being taken away, because there's one thing that is what is written in the rule set, but between the referees, they have meetings and they have recommendations as well to deal with problems that may arise. And these problems, the rule set, the rule book doesn't cover. And of course, if you are someone that even understanding the rule set and you are watching a match and something happens and you say, oh, why did it happen? I'm not aware of it. It's not in the rules. And then you learn afterwards that, of course, but there's a specific recommendation for this situation, then it's complicated, because then imagine someone that doesn't understand the rule set, doesn't do jiu-jitsu, the person doesn't compete or teach jiu-jitsu and wants to watch the World Championship, and the things happen and say, why are the points being given? And it can be a bit frustrating and can be a little bit against the broader spread of jiu-jitsu. The good thing about Brazilian jiu-jitsu is that it allows lots of innovation. If I compete IBJJF rules, I can innovate as much as I'm able to innovate, providing it within the current rule set. So the current rule set is quite broad and it accepts lots of innovations. But of course, as people innovate, the rule set has to change or adapt as well to deal with the new things that come in. I remember back in the day, 50-50, how to deal with it, because people get into 50-50 and then one person postures, so is it a sweep, but it's the person posturing up then sits and the other person postures up, okay, is it a sweep, 2 points, and then they had to deal with it in the rules. And if you have 50-50 and if you have a lapel, you see, there are so many things that people innovate, it's great, but then the rule set has to catch up. Even if you start with a very basic set of rules, but you have rules that they're flexible enough that they will allow for innovation. Over time, if people continue innovating, you may have to adjust your rules. And then you start creating amendments and creating new articles in your rules. And what starts more or less simpler, it can become complex over time. You see? And it's my belief that it's something that's happening or happens with IBJJF rules, because for the last 20 years or more than 20 years, there are lots of innovations in jiu-jitsu. there are new guards, there are new sweeps, and things that people start doing, and the referees and they have to deal with it. How are the points being awarded? How are the advantages being given, and how to deal with a situation where you have a 50-50 when you have a lapel, or when you have someone that doesn't want to progress. Right now we have the double pool, okay, two people sitting, and then how do you deal with it? Okay, so both people sit at the same time. How do you award it? How do you penalize it? So these things, they happen because Jiu-Jitsu is decentralized. We don't have a governing body telling all the Jiu-Jitsu schools in the world that you have to abide strictly by this set of rules, and you are allowed, and you have this X number of techniques that you can use, and these are the grips you can use, and that's all. And this is something that may not change in the future. Think about it. If you had a set of rules right now and saying, okay, you can do 5 throws, you can have 20 sweeps, and you can make grips in 3 specific ways, and that's it. So of course, what happens that there won't be innovation anymore, or there won't be as much innovation, you see. But when you have an open system, an open way of doing jiu-jitsu, that you have coaches, they come from different backgrounds, they have different experiences, and they have different preferences as well, and they teach in different ways, and these people, they're going to meet in the play field, IBJJF competition in this case, and they are going to show their best jiu-jitsu the way they do. So one person may prefer to do throws, the other person preference might be pulling guard, and then you have the different type of open guards. Some people may like spider guards, other people half guards, and this is the beauty, something beautiful about jiu-jitsu, because it's quite free. You really can express yourself. You really can express your capacity to create, your capacity to improvise, your capacity to innovate. Of course, the rules has to deal with these situations. What is allowed, what is not allowed, what's the point, is a penalty, and they have to catch up. And now, if as people who really know about jiu-jitsu, if these people are publicly saying that, okay, the rules are complex, and people that should understand the rules, they're not always understanding the rules. Maybe yes, maybe there's something to be done, but who is going to decide? How is it going? If you have something, a set of rules, or if you have a system that has been growing so much, if you take something away, or if you change something, it can affect other areas as well. I was reading some comments, people saying, you have to start everything from zero. You should have a golden score, and other things they said, different points for different type of throws. And yes, but how is it going to affect the people who practice, and who practice for competition, the people who coach, the people who do the refereeing? Because each change needs some time to implement, to test and implement, and people have to adapt to these rules. Even if you change the rules right now and you start from very basic rules, such as simpler rules, Rickson Gracie Budo Challenge 2020, 2005. So you have 1 positive point for taking down, passing the guard, kneel the stomach, mount, back take, and then you have 3 points for submission attack. Then you have negative points for pulling guards and negative points stalling. Even if you change to it, of course, people will have to adapt. It has to be tested. Does it really work? Will there be as much interest in jiu-jitsu? You see, and then when when everyone knows about the rule set, then you have to think about how to get around it, how to take advantage of the rule set, because at the end of the day, it's a sport. Okay, IBJJF competition sports jiu-jitsu. You go there to compete. It's a sports setting, so you have to take into consideration how you're going to take advantage of the rules. That's the way it is, because the other person will prepare to take advantage of the rules. That's what it is. So the rules, whatever the rules are, it should reward, my opinion, it should reward control and progression leading towards submission. Control and progression leading towards submission. To be offensive. Offensive. And sometimes if you have 2 people sitting down at the same time with a grip, with a weak grip, for instance, just make a weak grip and sit down, well, yes, I agree. So now what's the intention there? You see, or someone that has one advantage and then stalls the fight in a way that, yeah, it's strategy. It's sports strategy, of course. People want to win. But what's the essence? What do the expert, the master, jiu-jitsu master say about the essence of jiu-jitsu in terms of competition? What should this essence be in the competition? Or should it be something else? Of course, this essence has to be defined. See, I have my view about jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a system where you're standing up, you close the distance, safely close the distance, take the fight to the ground, progressively control the other person up to the point that it will lead to a submission, being joint dislocation or strangulation. So yes, it's complicated. And I think that now, will the rule set change dramatically? IBJJF rule set? No, I don't think so, because there's so many things to be taken into consideration. There are other organizations with different types of rules, and some of them better than others. So people who compete, they have options as well to compete under different organizations. But the prestige that IBJJF has, I think that it will outlast the need for change, that for the time being, even though people disagree, or some prominent people that know about jiu-jitsu disagree about the rule set, I still believe that IBJJF competitions, they will be very busy in terms of competitors, and the World Championships, they will still be very competitive, and many people will want to be a world champion adult IBJJF. That's what I think.